What would you do if someone handed you $200 million? For most people, that's a dream come true. But for Justin Bieber, it may have been the beginning of the end. In early 2023, Justin made headlines by selling his entire music catalog for a jaw-dropping $200 million. To the outside world, it looked like a brilliant move, one that guaranteed financial freedom and secured his legacy. But what followed was far from a victory lap. His public appearances started to fade, his energy dropped, his presence in the music world grew quieter, and fans everywhere began asking, what's really going on with Justin Bieber? Let's break it all down. The deal that changed everything. In early 2023, Justin Bieber made a move that stunned the music industry. He sold the entire rights to his music catalog for an estimated $200 million. That includes nearly every hit song he released before 2022. From Baby to Sorry, the very tracks that built his legacy are now owned by a global investment group. To most people, this might sound like the ultimate financial win, a guaranteed fortune at just 28 years old. That's generational wealth, a comfortable life, and no pressure to hustle anymore. But for fans paying close attention, something felt off. Unlike older artists who usually make these types of deals near retirement, Bieber was still in his prime. He had a global fan base, chart-topping records, and the ability to sell out arenas worldwide. So why sell everything now? Industry observers started to speculate. Some suggested it was burnout, others said it could be related to health issues. There were even quiet rumors about behind-the-scenes pressure, particularly regarding his relationship with longtime manager Scooter Braun, who had sold his own company for over $1 billion not long before. Whatever the reason, one thing was clear. This wasn't just a money move. It felt personal. It felt final for someone who had built his life around music. Letting go of it all at once seemed to mark the beginning of something deeper. Not a reinvention, but a retreat. And the signs of that retreat showed up almost immediately. The price of early fame. To understand what this $200 million decision really meant, we have to rewind the clock to when a 13-year-old boy named Justin was uploading videos on YouTube. Discovered by talent manager Scooter Braun, Justin's life changed overnight. He wasn't slowly rising to fame, he was fast-tracked. Just months later, he was in recording studios with Usher and getting courted by major record labels. His voice, charm, and image were quickly packaged into a global brand, and it worked. By 16, Justin was performing at the White House. By 18, he had already become a millionaire many times over. But while the cameras captured his meteoric rise, very few saw what was happening behind the curtain. There were no breaks, no boundaries, no normal teenage life. He was constantly traveling, performing, and being followed by flashing cameras. Strangers knew every detail of his face. Fans waited outside hotels. Paparazzi hounded him at every step. His life, quite literally, became a spectacle. And beneath the surface, the cost was piling up. Imagine being a teenager and never being alone. Never having space to make mistakes privately. Never truly knowing who to trust. That pressure, over time, began to take its toll on his emotional health. What started as one of the most successful pop stories in modern music was already showing early cracks. Justin had been turned into a global sensation, but the human behind the headlines was struggling to keep up. The collapse. The world watched. As the years passed, that pressure didn't ease. It intensified. By the time Justin entered his late teens and early 20s, the cracks in the foundation started to show. The kid who once danced through music videos with carefree energy began to look tired. On camera, he smiled. Off camera, it was a different story. In a span of just a few years, his name was no longer attached to songs alone. It was linked to headline after headline about public outbursts, clashes with photographers, and other incidents that made fans worry and tabloids cheer. Instead of offering support, many media outlets turned his struggles into entertainment. They didn't just report on his breakdowns, they profited from them. And while it might have looked like he was simply acting out, the truth was much heavier. In his own words, through interviews and his documentary, Justin later revealed just how far things had gone. His lifestyle had become so self-destructive that his security team would regularly check on him while he slept to make sure he was okay. His body and mind were both overwhelmed, And behind the scenes, his team lived in constant concern for his safety. He spoke openly about how disconnected he had become from everything around him, how he used distractions to escape the pressure, and how lost he felt despite the fame. What people once viewed as a bad behavior was actually a young person reaching a breaking point. The world watched this unfold in real time. Viral clips, news alerts, late-night talk show jokes, all of it contributed to the growing narrative of a star who was unraveling. But what most forgot was that underneath it all was a human being, struggling to stay afloat in an environment that never let him breathe. The real tragedy wasn't that Justin was falling apart, it was that so few people took it seriously until it nearly became irreversible. And even though he eventually took steps to recover, the emotional scars from those years never truly faded. The comeback that didn't last. After years of public struggles, Justin seemed to make a strong return with his 2015 album Purpose. The songs were heartfelt, the tone more mature, and fans were quick to embrace this new version of him. It felt like he had turned a corner. Then came his marriage to Hailey Baldwin in 2018, which was seen as another step towards stability. Justin often spoke about how the relationship gave him clarity and support. From the outside, it looked like he was finally finding peace, but that peace didn't last. In 2020, he revealed he had been battling Lyme disease and severe anxiety. He spoke openly about how fame had left deep emotional scars, and that despite the success, he often struggled to feel grounded. Even after all the therapy, music, and love in his life, something still felt unsettled. It became clear that his comeback was real, but it was also fragile, selling more than just songs. In 2023, Justin made a bold decision. He sold the rights to his entire music catalog for $200 million. At first, it was seen as a smart business move, but to many, it also felt symbolic, like he was letting go of more than just royalties. For someone still active in the industry, giving up your life's work so young was a surprising choice. Some believed it was about burnout, others pointed to health concerns or behind-the-scenes pressure, and while the money gave him freedom, it may have also taken away a major part of his identity, because when an artist gives up control of their own voice, what keeps them inspired? Fans started to notice that something had shifted. The energy, the passion, even his public appearances, they all began to fade. This wasn't just a sale, it was a signal, and it left people wondering, was Justin stepping back or walking away? A fading presence. Since the sale, fans have noticed something strange. Bieber's public presence has all but disappeared. He's missed major music events. Paparazzi footage shows him visibly withdrawn, often dazed, uncomfortable, or checked out. Even his regular church visits have become inconsistent. There's been growing speculation online, whispers of substance use, possible relapse, and emotional detachment. Nothing is confirmed, but the worry is real. The same haunting energy from his darkest years, it's creeping back in. The Hailey dynamic. Adding more fuel to the conversation is the dynamic between Justin and Hailey. While she continues to expand her brand, attend red carpets, and engage with the media, Justin remains noticeably in the background. Once known as the face of global pop, he now often fades into the shadow of his own marriage. Some fans wonder if this shift is intentional. Others ask if it's a reflection of deeper problems behind closed doors. But one thing is clear, Justin no longer commands the spotlight the way he once did. The industry machine. While much of the conversation focuses on Bieber's behavior, the real culprit may lie behind the scenes. From the beginning, Justin Bieber was treated as a product. Managers, labels, investors, they all saw him as a revenue-generating machine. Every scandal made money. Every comeback sold records. Even his silence now fuels headlines and YouTube views. And now, his music is owned by investment firms who profit whether or not he ever makes another song. It's a chilling reality. The system never cared if he burned out, as long as his name stayed valuable. The aftermath of selling out. The $200 million payout was never just a business deal. It was a turning point. A quiet goodbye to a career that had taken everything from him. Bieber didn't retire. He didn't announce a break. He simply faded. And as he pulled away, his demons seemed to creep back in. The same ones he spent years trying to outrun. Fame, money, and marriage were never strong enough to protect him from what he's been battling all along. Now, fans are left wondering, is this the end of Justin Bieber's story, or just the most tragic chapter yet? A legacy in question. Justin Bieber's journey has never been ordinary. He didn't just chase fame, he was thrust into it. From a small-town kid with a voice on YouTube to one of the most recognizable faces in pop culture, his rise was fast, intense, and carefully managed. But behind the music, behind the lights and magazine covers, was a young man navigating extreme pressure, emotional highs and lows, and a lifetime's worth of expectations, all before turning 30. The $200 million deal wasn't just a financial headline. It may have marked the end of an era where Justin was still trying to push through the pain and find meaning in his art. By selling the very songs that told his story, he may have quietly stepped away from a part of himself the world wasn't ready to lose. Now, with fewer appearances, minimal public statements, and growing concern from fans, one thing is clear: Justin is in a different chapter. Whether it's one of healing, reflection, or retreat, we can only guess. But one question remains: did the industry give him a stage or steal his sense of purpose? Whatever comes next, his legacy is already undeniable. But what matters more is whether he can find peace away from the spotlight that never seemed to let him breathe. We want to hear what you think. Do you believe Justin will return stronger? Or is this his way of stepping away for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters here. If you found this story powerful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss what's next.